Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time once again. Going to be giving you guys my Week 8 college football official score predictions on every game involving a team ranked with inside the new AP Top 25. So let's get right into it. Starting, we've got a Wednesday night game. Coastal Carolina, who is still undefeated, at Appalachian State. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking App State in a close, high-scoring affair, 37-35. I think the spread right now, App State is favored by 2 or 3. I don't know, maybe I have that off. But if you think Coastal Carolina is winning this game, then you've got them undefeated, because App State is the last team standing in the way of Coastal Carolina and an undefeated season. When you look at the rest of their schedule, I don't think they're going to have an undefeated season, so I have them losing this game at Appalachian State. Appalachian State, a team, you know, in previous years, they've been ranked, they've been flirted with being ranked. This year, maybe a little bit more down, but still a formidable team. I do personally like Coastal Carolina and their quarterback. But this is a game on the road, Wednesday night. They're going to lose a game. You got to figure they're going to lose a game. High scoring, close, loss, turnovers, probably the difference in a game like this. Really good there. That's a Wednesday game. We've got a Thursday game. We've got Tulane at SMU. Cincinnati fans clearly rooting for SMU to remain undefeated. I do have SMU and that high-powered offense winning this one on a Thursday night, 51-28. Tulane, we remember back, what was that, week 1, I think, almost beating Oklahoma. That was when Spencer Rattler was starting, but they scored like 40 points in that game. They have a decent offense, but overall still a bad team. SMU, not a great defense, really good offense. Playoff implications in this one due to Cincinnati. If SMU somehow loses this game, that would be terrible for Cincinnati. They need SMU to be undefeated, possibly top 15 in the polls going into their game later in the year. I think it's the second last game of the regular season for both SMU and Cincinnati. So while neither of these two teams, well, I guess SMU is still undefeated, so you could say, you know, they could run the table, but realistically, this game is really meaningful for Cincinnati when it comes to the playoff. Give me SMU. We've got our Saturday games kicking off, Cincinnati at Navy, and I think this is going to be a lot closer than many people think, 24-21. You know, these teams like Army and Navy, they're really run-heavy, and you can really get into these grudge matches with them as, you know, we'll have to see if Navy can control the time of possession. Cincinnati does need to blow these teams out, so this would be a really not a great look for Cincy. We'll have to see. They did handle UCF very easily with UCF's backup quarterback at home last week. It was a noon start time. They won, you know, what was it, 52-13 or something? I don't know. I'm just throwing a random number out there. They won by a lot. But this game, closer game, Navy, maybe a team, you got to get them off the field. You got to get them off the field. They'll chew up time of possession. They'll shorten the game significantly. Cincinnati, are they really going to blow everyone out? They need to do it. They need to do it. This would not be a great look for them. I do have Cincinnati winning, though. We've got another noon game. It is Oklahoma at Kansas. And Oklahoma, yeah, Kansas is the worst team in Power 5. Or I guess maybe Vanderbilt is. It's really close between Kansas and Vanderbilt. But yeah, Kansas is horrific. Give me Oklahoma. It just comes down to, I saw Oklahoma was a 38-point favorite. I was going to include that in my best bets video. But it just comes down to Oklahoma's defense. Will they allow anything? Because you've got Caleb Williams, you've got that offense. They're going to score 50+. Against Kansas, they're going to score 50+. Will that defense allow anything? Kansas has got 2 extremely garbage time touchdowns this past week against Texas Tech. So we'll have to see if they can do that. This game is in Lawrence, by the way. Lawrence, Kansas, so Oklahoma will be away. Another noon game. How about Northwestern traveling to Michigan? Northwestern getting that big win versus Rutgers. That surprised me. This one, I have Michigan 43-17. Northwestern is down this year. Normally, it's kind of an every other year thing for Northwestern. They're good one year. They're not good the next year. They're good the year after that. Kind of like that with Pat Fitzgerald and Northwestern. So they are not good this year, although they did have a big win last week. Like I said, Michigan, fresh off a bye. Still very concerned with Michigan. I understand they're undefeated. Very run-first team. Will they be able to throw the ball when the run is taken away from them when you face teams like Michigan State, like Ohio State, like Penn State? Those 3 teams still on Michigan's schedule. I think they get a win here, remain undefeated, remain clearly inside the top 10, but there are still questions. This is a noon start time, by the way, guys. We've got another noon game, another Big Ten game, Illinois and Penn State. Penn State dealing with the Sean Clifford injury. He will probably not be playing, especially against a team like Illinois. I have the Penn State Nittany Lions winning this one 34-9. Maybe Illinois gets a little safety at the end against one of Penn State's backup quarterbacks. Maybe they're back. Who knows, guys? That's why I have them at 9 points. But really low-scoring game. Once again, I personally don't know if Illinois is going to be able to score a single point on Penn State. Penn State has a really good defense. Illinois is by far the worst team in the Big Ten. The spread, though, for this game, I think it was only Penn State minus 23 due to their starting quarterback concerns. If they were starting Clifford, Penn State would be like 35-point favorites in this game. I mean, Illinois is by far the worst team in the Big Ten, and Penn State is at home in this game. They are coming off a bye. Should be an easy win for them. Another noon start time. We've got Wake Forest at Army. And give me Army in this one, 28-25. Army is far better than Navy, by the way. And, you know, Wake Forest is undefeated, but I think they're going to lose a game at some point, and I think this could be the game they get tripped up on. They're 6-0 right now. Believe they're coming off of a bye. Noon game away. You're facing, one of these armed forces. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. This is a good team. Army is a really good team. I think they only have 1 or 2 losses right now in the season. Give me Army close. 28-25 type game, noon start time there. We've got a 3 o'clock game, kind of a rare start time, not 3:30. This is 3 o'clock. Wisconsin at Purdue, and I'm going to give Purdue a slight edge here. And really, this is just, it was pretty fun to see Purdue beat Iowa. Wasn't great for the Big Ten, but still, Purdue's these teams, they've upset these teams. I could definitely see Purdue losing a game like this, but you want to talk about another game that's going to set the Big Ten back 50 years when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. These two teams, I saw the over-under on this game, 38. The over-under 38 on this game. Going to be a low-scoring game. Wisconsin is just, the thing with Wisconsin, they have a really elite defense and a horrific offense. So they are like the perfect team to be in these low-scoring, close games. 17-14. Purdue coming in at 25th on the AP poll. Love to see it. You loved it. Great for the Big Ten. Although it really wasn't good for the Big Ten because we needed Iowa to win. It looked better, but still, you love seeing Purdue ranked 25th. Maybe they get another big win against a Wisconsin team that's quietly turning their season around. They still have a horrific offense, though. Still a horrific offense. 3:30 time slot. Oklahoma State at Iowa State. Oklahoma State is undefeated. That was an impressive win they had last week at Texas. They're not going to be undefeated for long. Give me Iowa State 31-14 in a trouncing. I'm simply not buying this Oklahoma State team. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing about it. They do not have a good offense. Iowa State has actually become a little bit underrated now. I'm surprised they're not in the top 25. They're 4-2. But, Iowa State's it's one of those things where people had such high expectations for Iowa State. I said they were going to disappoint. I said they were not a top 10 team. But that doesn't mean they're not a top 25 team. They still are. They still are a good football team. They have a veteran quarterback. They have a veteran defense. They have a really good elite running back. Give me Iowa State at home in this one, 31-14. That would be Oklahoma State's first loss on the year. 3:30 time window. How about Oregon at UCLA? UCLA actually favorites in this game, and I do have the Bruins winning this one 36-24. It's interesting because Oregon is still within shouting distance of a playoff spot due to their win at Ohio Stadium and beating Ohio State. That is such a huge win. It doesn't feel like that. You take a look at Oregon's last 2 games this past weekend, winning by only 7 points at home. And then before that, they lost to Stanford on the road. UCLA is favorite. They're 1-point favorites in this game. I've got them winning by more. Oregon, really good defense. Don't trust Anthony Brown at all. They're on the road. UCLA is a team that can score some points. They've got a veteran quarterback. Give me UCLA in that one. We've got another 3:30 game, LSU and Ole Miss, high-scoring affair. I actually don't think I gave these two teams enough points. 48-27, Ole Miss over LSU. I think this is Ole Miss's breakout offense game for Matt Corral, where he throws like 5 or 6 touchdown passes. He had 200 rushing yards somehow. Where did that come from? We don't know. No, he is a dynamic quarterback, but 200 yards rushing is pretty crazy for any quarterback. This is going to be a high-scoring game. LSU not great on defense, okay offense. Ole Miss, to me, this is just more Ole Miss and Matt Corral breaking out in the passing game. Matt Corral really not throwing a lot of passing touchdowns recently. I see it minimum 5 passing touchdowns this game for Matt Corral. He's due for a huge performance. Due for a huge performance. LSU, that was a big win last week at home versus Florida. They're such a streaky, inconsistent team. The Edo news where he's out after the end of the year, we all expected that. They're on the road. They're not going to be very motivated. 3:30 game. Ole Miss coming off that big win, at Tennessee, the whole Lane Kiffin saga, stuff like that. This is their chance to break out on offense. How about only 31 points against Tennessee? This is a team they're waiting to break out, this Ole Miss team. I think they break out, and I don't think I gave them enough points. I think they score 50-plus in this game, actually, but I've got them winning by a lot. This is Clemson at Pitt. Really interesting game. Another game in the 3:30 window. I have Pitt winning by 1 point. It would be so cool to see Pitt win, and just how high could they climb the AP poll if they beat Clemson. Pitt is 3.5-point favorites in this game. Clemson, you're really just waiting for their offense to do something. They are so talented on paper, on offense, 5-star quarterback, the whole deal. It hasn't clicked. Nothing has clicked. And Pitt, their offense kind of got slowed down last week. They still were able to beat Virginia Tech with a good defensive performance. They won 28-7. That's a really nice win. And this will be interesting. If Pitt actually beats Clemson at home in the ACC, where will they be ranked in the AP poll? I know Clemson isn't as good, so it's not that huge of an impressive win. But these two teams have had some really close games recently. Really close. I think this could be a fun, maybe higher scoring, 31-30 type game, walk-off field goal or something, 3:30. Going to be a really fun one to watch in that window. Now we're on to the night games. This is a 7 o'clock game. It is Tennessee at Alabama, and I have Bama destroying Tennessee here 52-20. Tennessee does have a decent offense. They can throw the ball around the field, so I think they'll score a little bit, but that Alabama defense looked really good against Mississippi State, holding them to 9 points total. And again, I think Alabama's just on an absolute mission to really destroy everyone, especially these inferior opponents. With the way they lost to Texas A&M, they know style points matter. They know the way you're playing matters. If they keep going out and, beating the spread and crushing everyone, a team like Tennessee, this is a perfect team. Like a team like Tennessee, who they're not great, but they're really not bad. Like, you go out and you crush them, that's going to look really good for your style points. Alabama knows they need it after that loss to Texas A&M. It's really just going to come down to Alabama, them beating Georgia. If they beat Georgia, they're in the playoff. If they lose, they're out. Although I did tweet out, you want to follow me on Twitter, link to that's in the description. I did tweet out, be prepared. If Alabama beats everyone by a lot and then loses a very close game to Georgia in the SEC championship, there's going to be people complaining that a 2-loss Alabama should be the first 2-loss team in the playoff. If Bama crushes everyone and then loses on a walk-off field goal to Georgia in the SEC championship game, that will be an argument 100%. Watch out. That's an early warning shot. I got Bama huge in this one. Bryce Young, Heisman frontrunner, I would agree right now. 7 o'clock game, San Diego State at Air Force. And I do have Air Force winning this game. San Diego State still unbeaten. They were able to defeat San Jose State in a very low-scoring game. This is a San Diego State team. I like their style of football. Great on defense, not great on offense. Air Force, though. Air Force is really good. Air Force is, I think, 4-point favorites in this game. So this really isn't even an upset. No, this ain't an upset at all. Air Force 30-23 at home, 7 o'clock game. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Another 7 o'clock game, UTSA. They get ranked. Shout out to the University of Texas San Antonio at Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech, better than their record says they are. Watch out, they're better than their record says they are. But I have UTSA. How could I not? I've got UTSA winning this game, 35-25. You look at Louisiana Tech's record. What are they, 2-4? They're better than that. This is a sneaky game. UTSA, you're ranked 24. You're trying to climb up into the playoff discussion. I'm just kidding, of course, but let's be real. Go undefeated, it would be funny. 35-25. Watch out. This team's better than the record. They're at home. University of Texas San Antonio, I think only 6-point favorites in this game. Interesting. That's a 7 o'clock start. We've got our primetime ABC game. It is Ohio State at Indiana. Indiana's had such a tough schedule. I have Ohio State 56-24 over Indiana. This Ohio State offense is crazy. They're coming off a bye. They're hitting on all cylinders. C.J. Stroud really looking to launch himself right into the Heisman discussion. I have him number 2 on my list right now. A game against Indiana, even if he throws 4 or 5 touchdowns, it's not going to really move the needle. But after this week, next week, you face Penn State at home. Heisman statement. Oh my, the chance is huge against Penn State. We'll see if Sean Clifford's playing. But still, I've got Ohio State in this one. Big. Their defense isn't amazing. They're very young, so they're going to give up some points. 56-24. The over is a lock in this game, and Ohio State minus 19 is a lock as well. Another 7:30 game. How about South Carolina at Texas A&M? I actually think this is the last ranked game of the night, 7:30. Surprised there's not a late-night Pac-12 game. That's kind of sad. But in this one, I do have South Carolina legitimately upsetting Texas A&M. It's a feel. You go into these things, it's like, ooh, it's interesting. You feel different things. South Carolina, after the bad performance last week against Vanderbilt, no one's expecting it. Everyone's saying, oh yeah, Texas A&M, they destroyed Missouri, right? I'll be honest, I thought Missouri was going to hang with Texas A&M. It didn't end up happening, whatever. I just think South Carolina, this is college football in this day and age. Weird things happen. You got to pick upsets at some point. It's going to happen. Texas A&M with a backup quarterback, they're beatable, folks. Let's be real. I know they beat Alabama, whatever. They're beatable. They are beatable. South Carolina, they're going to play inspired football. Inspired football. They almost lost to Vanderbilt. Whatever, guys. It's week to week. Teams are different each week. These are 19-year-old kids. You're going to get some weird scores. You're going to get some weird stuff. This is a weird game here. Give me South Carolina over Texas A&M. And then, oh, we do have another game. I didn't know if we had one more or not. I think we have a few more games, actually. I don't know what I'm saying. USC at Notre Dame. And I do have Notre Dame in a close one over USC. I could certainly see USC winning this game. Notre Dame is not as good as their record says they are. They're, I think, ranked 14th or 15th right now. They do only have one loss. USC, you don't know what you're going to get with them. They went out and got crushed the last time they were out there against Utah. This past weekend, they had a bye. Now they go to Notre Dame. I feel like the last 5 years, the last 5 matchups Notre Dame and USC have played, Notre Dame's won all of them. It just feels like it. So I originally I was going to pick USC, but it's like I just can't do it. Give me Notre Dame. This should be a fun NBC game. Fun 7:30 NBC game. The last matchup of the night is NC State taking on the U. And I've got Miami making a statement. They want to make a bold. Why I have Miami winning this game, who knows, honestly. Now, NC State, I mean, you know, weird things happen in these games. NC State, I'm just not a big believer. I think they're better than their record says they are. I think they're due to come back down to earth a little bit. It was a big win at Boston College. We applaud it. We embrace that. We understand it. But this week, this is a 7:30 game in Miami, night game. Can't say much about the crowd, right, in Miami. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for all of the ranked matchups for week number 8. Just my early predictions here. You guys, make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.